What's up, everybody? It's me, Johnny G, and welcome back. Today we're going to be trying a new game on the channel. Now, for those of you that follow my channel and you know what's happened to me in the past, a few months back, I initially intended to try this game because somebody put me onto it, gave me the advice to play it, and thought I would enjoy it. So I wanted to give it a try, downloaded it, and installed it on my mobile, and I was going to play, but the things that have been going on in my life recently with family and financial struggles kind of hit on the same day. Things started to happen on that same day, and I didn't want to associate anything negative with the start of the game. And of course, you guys know how much Arknights has done for me and helped me. I did not want to ruin my experience. We'll just put it simply like that. So I decided to step back. I didn't start it. And now, finally, it's a few months down the line, and my understanding is they had or they are having their second anniversary. So we are going to be trying Limbus Company. So first of all, thank you, Musy, for putting me onto the game. That is much appreciated for the recommendation. And we're going to see what the hype is about and what this game is like. I'm anxious. I'm going into it blind. I don't know really anything about it other than some like fan art and types of things that I've seen and a little bit of stuff that I read from like when it was downloading initially. The first time it was downloading and showing some different things on screen, I was trying to read it and keep up with it, but we're going to go into it blind. And it was also recommended to check out like some different guides and things for things that I may not understand and may have trouble with, but we'll do that after we get our initial taste and kind of get our feet wet, so to speak. So we're going to jump in, and I do have it. I'm going to play it through the Steam client, and I did read at least that the Steam client can be played and you can like cross progress, if I can talk. So I'd be able to log in with my Google account or whatever and continue my progress, whether it's on my mobile or here. So we'll go ahead and jump in, and we'll see if we like it. And if we like it and it turns out to do pretty well, then we may continue making content out of this on the channel, just to have something else to mix it up. So without further ado, let's go ahead and give our first try to Limbus Company. All right, so here we are. Let's go ahead and touch to start. Sign in with Steam. Interesting. Well, let's do this. Downloading data. All right, so let's go ahead and download the data. The city and the nests. We understand the unique situation you find yourself in, Executive Manager. Allow us to lay down a number of key facts about our world here. In case you become unfamiliar with your surroundings, we live in a massive city divided into 26 districts. Each district has a central area called the Nest, whose inhabitants are under the protection of a corporate entity overseeing the district, much like a bird brooding its eggs. Alas, the corporation's protection doesn't extend beyond the nest's boundaries. The dwellers of the back streets have to fend for themselves. The wings. This term does not refer to a bird's bodily structure. However, one can't deny that a wing's role resembles that of a bird caring for its nest. The wings are a collective term we use to refer to the 26 biggest conglomerates in the city. Excuse me. These wings contribute to the quality of life in the city via astounding technological feats known as singularities. Under the jurisdiction of a wing, the citizens of each nest enjoy comfortable and safe lives. However, that changes the moment a wing is snapped or plucked of its feathers. Historically, the fall of a wing has accompanied events of considerable magnitudes. In time, a new wing will rise to fill that vacant spot. In the meantime, though, no one can guarantee your safety in its fallen nest. Lobotomy Corporation, a former wing that is located in Nest L. Lobotomy Corporation, or L Corp for short, was an energy company that produced an ample supply of power for the city. The corporation has fallen since the White Nights and Dark Days incident, and the spot of Nest L's wing remains unclaimed to this day because the former L Corp's electric grids had encompassed the city. Its branches were built in various places, though these branch facilities have all fallen to ruin with the collapse of the wing. You should still be able to find valuable goods, along with possibly the most dangerous beings you'll face. Let me turn on my desktop audio to make sure. The music's actually pretty cool. I like this. I like this song. The Golden Boughs. Within the depths of these facilities lie the Golden Bowels, the essence of Lobotomy Corporation's energy production technology, or what's left of it. Its appearance is exactly as the name suggests, a tree branch radiating a golden glow. Your objective as an executive manager is to obtain the Golden Bowels. Of course, any denizen of the city would be attracted by the promise of the infinite possibilities these items possess. The task of retrieval will not be as easy as grabbing goods from a convenience store. We implore you to collect all the Golden Bowels with prudent decision-making. Abnormalities. Lobotomy Corporation used to produce energy using creatures they dubbed abnormalities. As the term suggests, these peculiar entities ranged from unfathomably bizarre and terrifying creatures to outwardly unremarkable beings capable of causing potentially catastrophic events as a result of incorrect management procedures. After the wing's unexpected and swift collapse, most of the branches were subject to a burial protocol, trapping those creatures underground alongside the likely oblivious employees. By now, the employees have most likely passed away, but abnormalities don't succumb as easily. You can expect them to still prowl the ruins to these sealed facilities. EGO. Lobotomy Corporation was said to also have possessed technology allowing them to extract weapons and armor from the abnormalities. It is speculated to be created using a technology that manifests their inner sides in a material form, but unfortunately we were unable to recover any means to replicate it. Relevant departments predict that your sinners will be able to manifest EGO of their own depending on their course of action. In addition, they expect EGO from abnormalities to be available via emotional attachment. Okay, encephalon. This refers to the form of energy Lobotomy Corporation produced. While commonly known as a source of electricity, this is not the only use for it. This green substance, which normally exists in liquid form, is known to induce a considerable sense of relaxation. The former L Corp administered appropriate doses of encephalon to its employees suffering under great amounts of stress for increased work efficiency. However, overdose or exposure to unrefined forms of the substance, well, let's just say it didn't seem to end well. Fixers are the all-around handymen of the city, handling the client's various cases and incidents. One doesn't simply become a fixer by declaring to be one. In order to acquire a fixer license officially, one must rap on the door of an office authorized by the associations or visit one of the associations in person. Furthermore, the license is only the beginning. To rise through the ranks and earn higher grades, they must prove themselves through trackable performance. Of course, some are uninterested in career advancement altogether. While fixers exist to solve the city's problems, it's no secret that these fixers can be sources of problems themselves. The associations and offices. The associations are major organizations that supervise and manage fixers, and the HANA Association is at the center of all fixer-related affairs. Well, okay, I guess we're done. I was trying to read that as much as possible, but let's go ahead and start. Here we go.
이제 알았어?
Ooh.
뛰어봤자 벼룩이라는 걸.
Wait a second. Can we... Whoop. Okay, that's all right. Interesting. All right, do you see now you can't run from us? You dare interrupt me just as I was engraving the... You must be out of your...
엄밀히 따져보면
If we're being
스승님이 하려는
technical,
게 도시의 금기는 아니더라.
what our master has planned apparently isn't one of the city's
시도할
taboos.
생각조차 못했던
It's just the
그런
kind of
일이라고
thing
해야
that no one has ever dared to consider. You catch my
어라?
drift?
근데 이 녀석
Huh, would you look at that?
그 사이에 머리를 갈아 끼웠군.
You managed to get a
원래
different head in
당신
so
같은
fast.
자들은 준비성조차 철저한가.
Is that... I'm unfamiliar with the language. Kind of sounds like Korean. Maybe I'm wrong with that. But anyways, do people like you always come prepared? Ugh. Just wait till I get the... You'll be no match for my...
아무래도 저 대가리엔
I guess that
밑까지는
new
없는
noggin doesn't
모양인데?
come with a mouth, huh? Yep,
째깍거리는
ticking
소리만
is all I
들리네.
hear. You think they're screaming on the inside? Gah. It's ticking faster, so I guess they could still feel pain.
아파.
Damn it, why am I... Just because, I'm going to turn the voices down, just because it's kind of messing with me while I'm trying to read, so I'll continue to read it, And maybe if I could change the language, we'll switch it up and we'll put the voices back up. But for now, we'll just do it this way. Why am I being attacked? Not good. Memories are dissolving already. The blank was done too quick. What? They've gone quiet already? Let's get this over with. Well, if this is a place no one visits and somewhere none can see, what's the hurry? We must follow her teachings. We can't drag on any longer. Yeah, but this is the moment of a lifetime. We're not going to get a second chance to kill someone of this caliber. Lion, you have a tendency to grow too emotional during your jobs. I hope you show some discretion. Pshaw. It's a shame. I wanted to have a look at your face. I reckon you won't tell us where your star is, right? Like hell I am. I'm taking Blank's location to the grave with... Damn it, where was Blank supposed to be again? My memories are escaping me too quickly. Right, no mouth. Which in turn means we won't learn how to acquire it from this person. Can I end them now? Sure, huh? Hey, what's that noise? Don't tell me, Panther. Did you allow yourself to be tracked? No, there was no one that could have pursued me. Perhaps a wild animal? This is not the sound a beast would make. It's... a bus? How did it even end up here? Must have taken a wrong turn. Ooh, the price they'll pay for taking the wrong road will be heavier than they expect. Ooh! It bested Lion's strength? Okay, they got hit by a bus. I love the little train icon. If my eyes are still right, then you will reach the Harbor of Glory. Who are you? That nameplate says Faust? You've lost your way in a dark forest. I'm sorry, what? Yet you were not overcome with fear. Why was that? That's... I could simply lift my head to find the star. That's right. Now repeat with the heart what I tell you aloud as you remind yourself of that image. Follow your star. Follow your star. At that moment, I felt a sudden thump in my head, followed by the sting of several chains penetrating my chest. Ooh. Relax, though it may feel otherwise, your heart is still functional. With this, the pact has been sealed. Dante, from this day forth, we are bound to your time. What do you... The beating of our hearts now depends on where your hands fall. I hope you'll make a fine leader. Our? Is that really everything? A single apple has fallen. This guy's still not making any sense. Jeez, the weight is killing me. Was killing me. Finally some action now? Well, I guess we could use a little warm-up. What is that wretch miserably writhing on the ground? Are they going to be the newest addition to the team? You might want to watch your words. I heard that's our soon-to-be boss. The attack must have happened in an instant. I'm impressed you managed to hide your head. Who are you people? And what's up with this bus? We are bearers of justice who have come to aid you, and this is the magical bus that takes us wherever we wish to go. Justice? Bus? Wasn't that what you expected to hear? Either way, you're better off believing us to be your saviors. We're racing against time, and the situation isn't in our favor, so let me explain this once. After some time passed. So, if I'm not mistaken here, and I do as you've said, those total strangers will fight for me? Correct, so long as you give them the right orders. Alright, so we'll kill these arrogant vandals dead. Then I'll go back to where I was. And... what was I doing? Where was I when I did that? Something extremely important was upon me, something I shouldn't forget. Calm down. It's only natural to happen with your current head. You should focus on the struggle at hand, Dante. Chloe, pardon. I'm not sure how I should address you. Would Commander Clock suffice? In any case, we await your orders. Do we really need orders? Seems like going one-on-one is the only way. Huh? Hey! Quit running off your mouths. We just need to crush them all. Please do your best, Dante. There's no two ways about it, I suppose. Okay. Here we go. Wave 1. Allow me to show you the basics of management and command. You can give orders to sinners by chaining skills on the dashboard at the bottom of the screen. Press and hold this gear on the left. From here, form a chain of skills all the way to the gear on the right. Okay. Like that. After you've formed the chain of skills, press the right gear to begin combat. Ooh. Okay, I like this art style. It's very intriguing, like RPG style combat. That's different. Ooh. The whole, like, hand-drawn aesthetic of this is awesome, too. It appears we need a powerful chain attack. Let's form the proper chain for it. Resonance input. Resonances boost the damage of skills with the same sin affinity. Their color, in other words, the power of each skill is boosted by the number of skills that come before it. Okay. It's definitely going to take me a while to pick up on how all that mechanic works, but we'll get it eventually. Kind of reminds me of some like old school RPGs and like some Fire Emblem-esque type, like the way that the animations and stuff work. That's really cool. That wasn't enough. We must strike them even harder. Try chaining our skills again. What is absolute resonance? As we just covered, chaining 3 or more skills of the same affinity in succession causes absolute resonance. Every skill under absolute resonance receives a power boost based on their total number. Likewise, the boost especially shines with more resonating skills. Okay, let's start. Ooh. Stagger, okay, so effects like that happen, that's cool. You will find both yellow stagger thresholds on the health bars of both your sinners and enemies. What is stagger? When an attack puts a unit's HP below one of the yellow line thresholds, they will become staggered. While staggered, all physical resistances change to fatal. If a unit's HP drops past multiple stagger thresholds in a single turn, their stagger level will increase. This stagger level can go up to 3, and as it increases, the damage the unit takes is amplified. Okay, so I do understand that much. Well done, we've staggered an enemy. Now keep up the fight with what I've taught you so far. Okay. How about we go... We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll try that. Okay. Ooh. Turn 5. Okay. Okay. Ooh. That's not good. Well, all right. Defeat. Well, that's pretty bad, I think. Ouch. I don't get it. This is what Lion struggled against? Whoa, hang on. I know this is kind of weird coming from someone you were just fighting, but I'm pretty sure we can't talk this up. Ow. This is unideal. Ha, I knew it was a ridiculous idea to put up a fight against them. Are y'all kidding? I haven't even... Ooh, dang. What the hell is going on? You said you'll fight in my stead. We never promised to win said fights. What? And it seems that I'm the only survivor. Okay, so you were waiting for this? You have some hidden card up your sleeve, right? Not necessarily a trump, no, rather, it's about following the star. What is this? Some kind of suicidal performance? Not the funnest lives to end. What am I supposed to do? They jumped in triumphantly only to die like flies. God, I can't remember a thing about the past since I repeated what she said. Is this how I die? Tell the serpent this, false lion. This flow cannot be stopped. Red, but why? Ugh. Do you know why I only dismembered those two? Because at least one of you needs to be able to carry the rest out of here. And you're the only one left to offer them any help. The red gaze. Don't glare at me like that. This is nothing compared to what you did. With wounds like those, I'm sure your boss will recognize that you did your part. Consider them a medal of honor. Unless you want this to be the end of your life? Who? Are you one of them? You're too late, they're already... No one is too late, Dante. There's only one thing we need. Little time to rewind. I'm suddenly overwhelmed by a sharp pain in my chest, as though my heart were being torn asunder. Followed by flashes in the ribs, intestines, stomach, and lungs. Ooh. Yeah. Engulfed in a deluge of torment, twisting and squeezing my entire body, I let out an agonizing scream. You... In my fading consciousness, the only thing I could perceive was the deceased's flesh reconstructing in a bizarre manner. You'll suffer aplenty from now on, Dante. And the voice of the man with red eyes. Ooh. Well, that was a little crazy. I hear the howl of a beast somewhere. It cries ceaselessly. Is it wailing out of hunger? Or they're being itchy-twitchy. Did they get up? Awake at last. I would have been a tad disappointed if you croaked on us. Fresh morning. This is Sharon, the bus driver? It's not morning, but I guess it's I could guess it's refreshing. How do you feel, Dante? Well, tick-tocking like a clock. Some language barrier this is. You may call me Virgilius. If you can understand what I'm saying, give me some kind of reaction, Dante. I gave him a quick nod since he didn't seem hostile. Good. At least your hearing is functional. Let's ride, Sharon. Now departing, vroom vroom. There was a heavy roar and vibrations as though they echoed from the bottom of a deep mire. It was then that I realized I was aboard a bus. A bus. I can't be sure I've ever ridden such a vehicle in the past. Do you remember who you were? I shook my head to say no. I had been reminded that my head was now a clinking mechanism. I suppose you want your memory back, am I right? I nodded. I sure feel like an idiot. Smooth as it gets. What's to stop the rest of you from adopting this gesture-based communication? Any words of yours, Miss Faust? Faust will kindly turn down the offer. I doubt we'll have that much freedom over our own bodies most of the time. She's the one who spoke to me back in the forest. Her silver hair that glistens even without sunlight gives off a rather mysterious air. Dante. Dante? Come to think of it, the red-eyed man has been calling me that too. Dante is your name. The amnesia must be affecting you rather severely. Sure looks like it. That doesn't sound like a familiar word. You'll get used to it in time. Wait, you can understand me? The group that attacked me earlier, and that Virgie or whatever he was called, seemed to hear nothing but ticking from me. Faust can hear what you intend to speak. You really can? But how? I don't even have a real mouth. Outdated ideas must be one of the side effects that came with your head replacement. It's anachronistic to think that the vocal organs, such as the cords or tongue, are necessary to participate in conversation. Anachronistic, right. Never considered that. You can limit the recipient of your words to one person, or choose to speak to everyone at once. A little clarification. When I say everyone, I'm only referring to the sinners. Sinners? The people who have taken seats behind you. and the ones who fought in your stead until moments ago. What ho! So thou art the final piece that completes our journey's cast. How I've yearned for this moment. Say, pal, where'd you sew your soul? Where'd you sew your old cranium off? So it was you. Thanks for putting my spine back on into one piece. Were you a surgeon or something in the nest? Everyone quiet. Nothing is more displeasing than to hear a choir of noises. I suppose you all owe them a brief introduction. I'll give you time to make yourselves known, starting with the closest one. Go on. Why is it always the ones in the front that go first? I'm sick of taking any sort of lead now. I heard you were going to be our boss, our manager. Manager? Yep, which is why I was real curious to meet you, and... Forming the right sentences is tough work. Don't know what you did with your old head, but I guess everyone has their story. I'm Gregor. We're in this together, Manager Bud. The sinner is relatively easy to handle in terms of personality. However, an upsurge of emotion or a sudden change of environment may cause parts or the whole of his body to transform into insectile, notably akin to a carapace resembling that of blank tissues. If you do not wish to be a rude manager, not that you're obligated to be nice, we recommend keeping your facial expression in check so that your disgust is not visible to him. He sometimes uses cynical language, but he can still be reasoned with, and you can get around him without much difficulty as long as you learn the knack of it. Okay. Rodion. Greg, they aren't just your bud or pal. You're talking to the person who'll make us filthy rich. Greg? Rich? What's that about? So he doesn't seem to like being called Greg, and she thinks they're gonna get rich. Okay. Let's see what's better. Dante, don't mind if I call you by name. You can call me Radia. I see that, like, okay, it says Rodion here, but her name tag says Radia. Rodion, the unfortunate traits of being backstreets born are apparent in this sinner. She loves money, gambling, and betting, so it is advised to pay close attention to her as the manager. She tends to deflect orders with an unimpressive wink or a silly joke. We recommend taking a stern stance at times to remind her that you are her superior. Her mood may be down at irregular intervals. There's nothing you can do to aid her in that state, so we recommend waiting for it to pass. I think there's a, good reason you became our manager. I'm sure you used to be a big deal back in the nest, right? When your old habits start coming back, we'll be that much closer to rolling in the dough. She does have sociability, I'll give her that. Oh gosh, look at me keeping on. Hey kid, it's your turn next. Good day. Ah, boring, that's it? Oh, I'm Sinclair. Even with the volatile nature of human growth around his age taken into consideration, this sinner seems to get particularly startled or frown when spoken to. He isn't used to real combat in the moment, meaning that he may struggle to keep himself together at the sight of something as mild as split innards at first. As there may be those with violent tendencies among your crew, we recommend taking an approach focused on positive reinforcement with this sinner. He appears to possess a murderous gaze that he himself isn't aware of. This is a hopeful sign that he has the potential to grow into an expert of our company's profession with the right stimuli. Positive reinforcement. Okay. All right. This boy looks awfully unnerved. Did he even join this company of his own accord? Is there anything else I need to say? I've never worked for a company before. Well, you'll learn the ropes in coming days. Okay then, how about you next, nerdy pal? I'm Yi Sang. Formerly the youngest chief researcher at the Redacted Wing, this sinner possesses higher intelligence compared to most others. We estimate the everyday conversation with this sinner will prove difficult for managers selected by our current screening process. If the sinner remains silent for a long time, that means he is currently processing a line of deliberate thought. We recommend waiting patiently for him. Okay. Aboard Mephistopheles, I just noticed that. That's it? No smoke or mirrors. Ooh, that's one thing. 1 second. Let's fix this a little bit. Hit the screen. There we go, that's better. No smoke or mirrors. I waited for him to reveal that he was pulling a prank or something, but he just stared vacantly into the window, disinterested. I can't believe you people. Aren't proper introductions the first step to being a member of society? Call me Ishmael, if you please. You may be disheartened by the defective state of many of your sinners, but do not worry. This sinner is one of the few who can carry out most missions without much complaint. She is likely to make reasonable judgments, so it is a good idea to start conversations while looking her way if you're seeking sound advice. I'm like getting ahead of myself while I'm trying to talk and read here. There's a lot to take in, but I like that sort of thing. However, you mustn't forget, this sinner has survived an absurd voyage in a far and wide body of water. Her patience may run deep, but once you take a wrong turn with her, it will be a difficult task to regain her trust. Okay. I heard you glued our bodies back together from pieces. I look forward to working with you. She gave a polite bow before returning to her seat. Although she emphasized sociality, she didn't feel like the most amicable sort. Sorry to disappoint, because I don't care too much for fitting in. Name's Heathcliff. Used to be a professional wrecker for property and people alike. Ooh, he's covered in scars and stuff. This sinner prefers to take action rather than wait for logic to dictate his course. His thoughts and feelings are blatantly visible in his demeanor, and he has no intention of hiding them. His brashness may cause headaches or physical injury leading to a headache in the process of forming a relationship. Please do note that this is not an indication of serious damage to the sinner's thought process. If his fit of rage persists, please contact the Human Resources Department. Once you realize that he is the type that tends to be simple-minded, you'll have an easier time handling him. Not under anyone's orders, mind you. I only did it to buggers that got on my nerves. So you'd better watch it. I'm definitely allergic to cocky gaffers who think they can boss me around. I don't think I've done anything to give that impression yet. 'Tis my turn to speak. I am Don Quixote. There's no sinner that can outmatch this one's level of passion if we were to measure it. An avid aficionada of all things fixer, she adorns herself with a variety of fixer-related merchandise. They won't affect her performance in combat one way or another, so there is no need for you to restrict her from keeping her decorations. She's deeply immersed in the role of a righteous fixer, hence the exaggerated mannerisms akin to those of an actor. Has such a thing ever existed, really? It's advised to play along with her for a smooth mission. Okay. I'm a fixer who shall sprint for the dream side by side. A pleasure to have thee. A fixer? That definitely feels like a term I used to know. Dost thou wish to know what it is? I can answer that question. Fixers are protectors of the city. Perchance thou mayst struggle to remember the city. 'Tis... I believe I said this was for brief introductions. Don't make me say it twice. Next. My name's Hong Lu. I hope we can get along well. A sinner who had lived an affluent life before becoming our company's asset. As such, he has a certain admiration for a free life, but occasionally he may make ignorant, and unsavory questions in regards to the food cooked by a certain other sinner or other aspects of the lowly culture. This can cause significant irritation for the other sinners. However, it is important to note that no sarcastic undertones are contained in his curiosity-driven inquiries, so it is ill-advised to let them get physical over it. Okay. Wow, and look at you. Isn't that a fascinating head there? A popular model these days, I suppose. No, this isn't that kind of... It's not of my interest, though. The hell's wrong with your attitude? Heathcliff looked to be just moments away from swinging his bat. But when he realized the red gaze laid on him, he grunted and sat back down. It's Ryoshu. Nice, okay. As they say, every person has their own creed, and it's only right to respect it as the executive manager. But with some creeds, you will have difficulty in even simply pretending to sympathize. You will have noticed that the sinner in question is a silent chain smoker, whose eyes shine with a euphoric gleam only during battle. She believes that senselessly destroying the enemy's heads is an uncultured act and a step backward for art. Caution, this sinner's background is one that even our company may have trouble handling. It is advised against making her breed personal resentment towards you. Ooh, sure is nice to meet you. At what point was I supposed to laugh? Meersalt. Meersalt? I don't know if I said that right. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please refer to me as such. Wants clear and concise commands, requiring no judgment on his part. Okay. You're pretty polite. This isn't anything special. I'm simply behaving normally. I'm almost touched. Merci. Yes. It felt as if something were gravely amiss with him, but I can't seem to pin it down exactly. The way she scanned me up and down was a little daunting. I felt almost compelled to bow to her, but she stopped me with a motion of her hand. Please, I would never make my manager grovel before me. My name is Otis. I would like to apologize for my rudeness earlier. Again, not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. The sinner could serve as an excellent advisor depending on your capability. However, she also has a meddlesome tendency, so it is recommended to keep her satisfied with short replies of agreement. She is an expert when it comes to tactics and various pearls of wisdom about life, making her advice all the more valuable for your mission. In addition, she possesses a vast knowledge of workshop technologies. You could trust her with simple repairs of the bus. Unlike the other sinners, accessing records pertaining to the past of this sinner is not permitted. Warning, keep an eye on this sinner and beware that she does not exercise her cunning intellect for purposes other than completing our company's mission. Rudeness? Oh please, your generosity is a humbling sight. I knew at first glance that you have what it takes to lead us. Huh? Sorry? While most humans cause noise and friction as a result of confrontation, some are able to reap mutual benefit from coming head to head. It could be compared to the relationship between a blade and a whetstone. I vow to serve you with unrivaled devotion, Executive Manager. My blade is yours to wield. That's reassuring. Thanks. I gave her an approving nod, even though I still don't get what she meant by her rudeness. I'm amazed at how you can sing such bold-faced high praise not too long after calling them a miserably writhing wretch. I think I see now. It seems I am the last. Faust is the name. The sinner who developed the engine of Mephistopheles, the bus operated by Limbus Company. She claims that there is no one in the city who could rival her library of knowledge and wisdom. And she isn't necessarily wrong. You might find her high and mighty attitude when she allows you to converse with her displeasing. But as seen with how she treats everyone with subtle gestures of arrogance, there is no hope of her parting with it, ever. We recommend simply nodding once and getting over it. Even though she has an unparalleled genius, we can't quite figure out how to use this one. Perhaps you could be the one to find out. A genius with whom you're lucky to cross paths even once in your life. Sounds like you aren't convinced, Dante. Well, it's fine. You'll come to learn, all in due time. Learn what? That Faust is indeed a brilliant mind. When a proverbial tree falls, the fact of its sound cannot become truth when the outside observer fails to recognize it. Okay, that's enough greetings. Dante, let me explain your new occupation. You mean as the manager? They're asking if the job you're about to explain is that of a manager. Come to think of it, that red-eyed man couldn't hear me, unlike the sinners. That's correct. Executive Manager Dante, you will embark on a trip to the Inferno with the 12 sinners who've just introduced themselves. The Inferno? Why should I go to hell? They're asking why they need to travel to the Inferno. How about this? Treasure awaits at the end of the road. Would that suffice? You mean I used to be a treasure hunter or something? They can't seem to get you at all. I did not ask for your understanding, Dante, nor was this a question of your willingness. You'll have to listen to me if you want to reclaim your memories and original head. I mean, I do want them back, but they're hesitant. Ms. Faust, what will we do if Dante keeps on refusing to cooperate? This was not a scenario we anticipated. Preposterous. Faust anticipates every possibility. Dante, once you've completed all your missions, you'll be able to engrave the aspect. I can promise you that. Aspect, a word that strikes my mind intensely. Even though my memories are gone, my underlying instincts are responding strongly to it. Led by intuition, I make my choice. See there? They're nodding. Good, then we can continue. By the way, Sharon, why isn't the bus moving? Were you dozing off? Bus driver only snoozes at rest spots, Verge. Weirdos were hanging out in front of Mephi. I told you, Sharon, if anything happens with the bus, you've got to let me know right away. Mephi? Who's that? Mephistopheles, the name of this bus and the engine that runs it. And Faust's magnum opus Cordis. An ideal ferry boat to bear us across the Inferno. Wouldn't you agree, Dante? I wasn't sure what he was getting at, so I turned away to look through the window instead of giving him a reply. Looks like they're just another pack of dirty rats living in the back streets. This is just the right time, Dante. They should make perfect targets for practicing your command. Dante, I skipped over many details during our first battle. We were short on time after all. However, we'll be slaughtered frequently if no improvements are made to your strategy. And in turn, you'll have to endure senseless pain over and over again to revive us. Pain? Revive? You mean what happened earlier was... Yes, we were brought back to life because you turned back the clock. I don't believe that much is necessary, Ms. Faust. Save the chatter for later. Sinners, off the bus. Allow me to elaborate on combat. Okay, so we're going for round 2. Maybe this time we won't die? Every skill consists of at least 1 coin. You could send every sinner into battle at once, yes, but commanding so many personnel at once will not be an easy task. Therefore, I will inform you of the appropriate number of participants depending on the particularities of each battle. For this occasion, 5 sinners will make an appropriate force. Select 5 sinners you would like to deploy for this battle. You can select the lower half of each sinner's cards to deploy them. First, please select Faust. Precise work. Select the rest of the sinners you would like to deploy for this encounter. Okay. Selecting to battle will commence battle with the sinners you have deployed. Okay. All actions are dictated by a speed value. What is speed? Speed is a random number chosen from within a given range each turn. The positions of units are rearranged every turn according to their speeds. Those with lower speeds are placed at the front, making them easier targets. Okay. So... all right. Unopposed. Ooh, okay. Okay. We'll do that, I guess. Ooh, inflict bleed. Upward slash. Inflict offense level down. Okay. At the start of each turn, a skill slot will be added for a sinner in the order they were deployed during team setup, regardless of if the sinner is staggered, in panic, or ego corrosion. Okay. Okay, so we do it again here. How about we do... when a sinner and their target both use attack skills, a clash occurs. What are clashes? A clash occurs when 2 characters attack each other. The side with the higher power wins, removing 1 coin from the loser. If both sides still have coins, more clashes will occur until one side has lost all of its coins. The side that loses all their coins will have their attack skill canceled. The winner will then attack with their remaining coins, gaining a damage bonus based on the total number of clashes. Okay. In a clash, the clash power of 2 opposing skills is compared, and the side with greater power wins. The gauge and text shown at the top of the screen predict your odds of winning. Okay. 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 I'm not quite sure and I'm not quite understanding everything about the chaining yet. I guess it's one of those things where I'm gonna learn a little bit more as we go. So I'm just kind of right now looking at like colors and seeing things popping up a little bit more, but I'm reading this stuff like sinking count, okay? Like there's definitely a lot to learn here, but I really love this like art style and what's going on with the combat screen here. The blue orb next to a character's health bar is an indicator of their sanity, or SP. The sphere on a unit's right indicates their sanity or SP. It has a range of -45 to +45. Units with higher sanity have a chance of their coin flips landing heads. Defeating enemies boosts sanity, while allied deaths will harm sanity. Enemy units at low sanity may fall into a state of low morale or panic. Ooh. You can view the effects and ailments on a unit in the indicated area. Does not act. When hit, this unit is defeated after the skill ends. Oh, they're all in panic. Press or hover over one of the effect icons to examine it in detail. All of our foes have now fallen into panic. Now's our chance. Give us orders at your discretion. Okay. Okay. Ooh. Okay, I won! Let's go! Okay. You're looking much more useful than before, Dante. They all got away save for one, though. Shouldn't we go after them? They're worried over the foes we lost. No need for concern. That's the direction we were heading anyway. Sharon? Pedal touches metal. Up for an exciting ride. Okay. I love the sketchy art style of the characters. That's really cool too. The sinners you have deployed in the last encounter will automatically be selected for the next, saving you trouble with selecting them again. Feel free to change them before entering battle, however. Select the 2-battle option. Wave 1. Please perform a chain of skills. I have more to teach you. Okay. Dominating, favored. Attack types and affinities. Okay, skills have 2 major properties. Their attack type, Pierce, Blunt, Slash, and Sin affinity, Wrath, Lust, Sloth, Gluttony, Gloom, Pride, and Envy. The attack types are Slash, Pierce, and Blunt. Sin affinities are Wrath, Lust, Sloth, Gluttony, Gloom, Pride, and Envy. Combined with resistances, attack types and affinities determine the damage of skills. Here you can check the attack type and sin affinity of your sinner's skills. Okay. Here you can check the attack type. Okay. You can see the resistance and weakness of each unit up here. The hooligan is vulnerable to slash attacks. Okay. I see. So that's all right. I'm gonna have to kind of have like a little chart with me probably for a little while until I get used to all that. You can also use defense skills to deal with an enemy offense. Defense skills activate against the enemy attack paired with it. If a defense skill isn't paired, it will activate when the unit is subject to an unopposed attack. Unlike attack skills, defense skills need to be generated. Let's generate a guard skill first. If you'd be so kind to press Gregor's portrait. Defense skill, Guard. Guard creates a shield with health equal to its power value. This shield will absorb incoming damage first. Using Guard multiple times in a single turn will have it activate that many times. Good, a Guard skill has been generated. Let's do the same for a counter skill. If you'd be so kind as to press Rhodia's portrait. Defense skills, Counter. Unlike other defense skills, Counter has an affinity and will generate its corresponding ego resource. When using Counter, the unit will launch an unopposed attack after being hit. However, the unit cannot launch a counter while staggered. Gut gemacht. Last will generate an evade skill. If you'd be so kind as to press Faust's portrait. Okay. Defense skills, Evade. When using Evade, the character will dodge if the evade's final power value is greater than or equal to the incoming attacks. The attack will hit with full force if the evade's power is lower, so be careful. These skills have been generated without a problem. Now utilize them and continue the battle. Your goal is to eliminate all of our enemies. Okay. Okay. Turn 3. Okay. Favored. Favored. Oh, wait a second. Okay, so favored. Unopposed. Dominating. Unopposed. Unopposed. Start. Fatal. Fatal. Paralyzed. Okay. 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 I'm gonna have to get used to that. I'm gonna have to get like a little chart or something that I can keep here until I understand the attacks, the symbols, how to read stuff a little bit better. But that is a very interesting combat system, and I like it. There was something a long time ago that I played that had something kind of similar. Can't remember what it was. This seems a little bit more in depth, but because I think it was a portable game that I'm thinking of. But anyways, give me a second. What is it? I joined this company because I was told that I'll be able to advance my career without slowing down. But right now, it's nothing but meaningless violence, like we're rats or something. I object to its meaninglessness. Those were evildoers who attacked us. Please just be quiet for a moment. Anyway, if all we're gonna do is beat up people under orders like hired thugs, I'll have to consider changing jobs sooner or later. Haven't you read your contract? Resignation is not permitted. Do you think the contract has any sway if it's based on lies? Of course it does. There were no lies on it. Huh? You didn't think Mephistopheles was built to be a mere means of transportation, did you? Mephi is always hungry, it keeps crying. The bus gets hungry? When the engine ingests fuel, it yields a byproduct. Using that, you can grow more powerful. I'm sure Yi Sang knows this well. When all possibilities are drawn from the mirror, there is no limit to one's growth. Is the self in the mirror my reflection or another being entirely? Possibilities? You draw what exactly? Okay then. One of Mephistopheles' various functions is extraction. You can collect various identities and ego from here. Select the extract button. Extract 1. Okay. Okay. With impeccable swiftness, I will render them silent. Okay, Ishmael. Return. You have acquired a new identity. Collecting new identities and ego will be contributive to improving our combat performance. Now let us return to battle. Battles can be accessed via a drive window. Inferno. Selva Oscura. Okay. Enter. Select the top part of the sinners to swap them out for a different identity. Select Sinner Ishmael if you will. From this menu, you may select one of the identities you have extracted to deploy them into battle. Please select the newly acquired identity for Ishmael. Okay, so just back up. Well done. Selecting identities appropriate for the particularities of each battle is the path to victory. Now select the to battle button. Okay. Ew. Okay. I see. This is what that was about. There's no need to get impatient, Ishmael. As the bus goes onward, you'll naturally take on more important tasks than beating the life out of random crooks. I know you're eager to achieve your goals, but do try to have patience. Since this works by whisking out one of our limitless possibilities from the mirrored world, it'll have overwritten a part of our memories. You'll get used to it in no time. Whoa, hang on, that sounds a bit dangerous, don't it? What if I'm no longer my old self by the end? Don't mistake yourselves for the ship of Theseus. While it's true that you borrow the identities and memories, the system is designed to ensure that you don't lose control over your own existence. Different though your reflection may be, it is bound to vanish once you walk away from the mirror. How our capability grows ultimately depends on you, Manager Dante. It is up to you to place the most effective figment of possibility on us at the right times. I believe that's what you call a metamorphosis. Yes, I suppose you could say that it's a form of transformation. Golly, where'd you learn big words like that? I picked it up. My prior profession required meeting people with various occupations. Verwandlung, huh? Done chatting? Let's make the way first. You'll spend more time together than you'd ever ask for, so keep that convo for later. Okay. Interesting. So we experienced the Gacha system. All right. Each character has a skill set. This is a list of skills from which they draw. Press a character to open their info tab. Okay, press a character to open their info tab. So I did that. Each sinner you control has their own group of skills. A number of them from those skill sets will be randomly selected and deployed on the dashboard. Used skills are treated as discarded from the set. They will not reappear until every other skill in the skill set has been used, thus refilling it. Additionally, attack skills have an offense level. In clashes, the differences in offense levels may affect the outcome. That should cover the basics of your sinner's skills. Now, give them orders. Well, I will, but I'm curious here. Okay. We'll have to figure out what all this stuff means. Okay. On hit, inflict 4 or bind. Next turn, heads hit, inflict 1. Okay. Okay. All right. I guess we'll try it a little more. Okay. I have a feeling I'm really gonna, like, until I get used to remembering things, I'm gonna forget a lot of this, but analytic eye. I see that on the side here, so let me move my camera here down a little bit. There we go. Now we got that. All right, besides skills, your sinners have passive abilities. Sinners in battle have their combat passives active. Sinners who are not directly participating in battle will provide aid with their support passives. To put theory into practice, activate the passive by chaining 2 pride skills. Okay. This portion will indicate that what passives are active. Passives activate when you possess a certain number of ego resources or chain skills of certain affinities to cause resonance. Okay. Okay, so I'm starting to see like envy res, pride res. Okay. Our current encounter comes in multiple waves. To help with this, your sinners possess powerful skills called ego, manifested by resonating with their emotions. To use ego, you need ego resources. You can view ego resources you currently have stockpiled here on the right. As this is your first time trying your hand at ego, I've collected the necessary resources for you. This is a special power, so you'll need to gather them on your own from now on. Okay. Sinners who can currently use ego will be highlighted. Ego skills must be generated on the dashboard, much like defensive skills. Press and hold the highlighted portrait. Okay. Consume ego resources to generate an ego skill icon on the dashboard. Excuse me. Ego skills can be canceled by tapping the portrait twice once they are added to the dashboard. The ego skill will be canceled and your resources refunded. Ego is powerful equipment that manifests by resonating with your sinner's emotions. To use an ego skill, you need sin affinity-based ego resources. Whenever you use an attack skill, you'll gain an ego resource matching its affinity. Ego corrosion. On top of requiring ego resources, ego takes a toll on a sinner's sanity. At low sanity, the sinner might suffer from ego corrosion. Sinners corroded by ego will ignore your commands, so ensure that your sinners are in good mental health. Okay, so that's like a Pokemon-esque thing. Anyways, ego passives. After using an ego skill, its passive ability will activate on the next turn and further empower the sinner for the rest of the battle. Make good use of the variety of passives that ego has to offer. Confirm. Ego Overclock can be stable or unstable depending on resources available. Overclocking spends 1.5 times as many ego resources and SP as the ego skill's usual cost. To overclock an ego skill, you need to possess at least the base ego resource cost. If you have the base cost but not enough for overclock, the overclock cost will be subtracted from your possession beyond 0. The unit can still be corroded upon overclocking. In this case, only the base ego resource cost will be consumed. Stable overclocked ego skills will have the same effect and damage values as the corrosion skill, while being able to distinguish allies from foes. Unstable overclocked skills carry the risk of targeting indiscriminately and have the same effects and values as the corrosion skill. Okay. Okay. Attack skills can be single target or multi-target. The latter are called AoE skills. It seems the ego that's about to be in play has an AoE skill. Area of effect. Targets of AoE skills are divided into 2 categories, the main target and sub-targets. Clashes with AoE skills can only occur from the chosen main target. If an AoE skill loses its clash, the attack will be cancelled for every target. Sub-targets are determined by the targeting range of the skill. AoE skill targets enemy skill slots. Each AoE skill has an attack weight. Each slot has a weight which can take up a portion of an AoE skill's attack weight. In regular encounters, an enemy is only attacked once by an AoE skill, even if the unit is taking up multiple targets. In focused encounters, the slots on their body parts are only attacked once, even if said slots are taking up multiple targets. Okay. Okay, we're winning the clashes, it seems. Okay. Ooh. Mouse knows all outcomes. Well, dang. Well, he done. Utilizing ego will be an important part of your strategy. Before we proceed, allow me to introduce you to a useful feature. You can now let the game chain skills for you. Chains will be automatically chosen depending on what button you press. Damage and win rate auto-chaining. Win rate picks skills that are most likely to win clashes. Damage, as the name implies, picks skills that can hurt your enemies the most. For regular encounters, auto-chaining is only available on stages where you've cleared the EX conditions. Auto-chaining can always be used for focused encounters. Note that the auto-chains are not necessarily the guaranteed optimal solution. Okay. Win rate? Sure, let's go with that. Oh, he did. Okay. Victory. Road's clear, but Verge, Mephi could have run them over just fine. Huh? What did I fight for then? Sensing a rattling agitation in my gestures, Virgilius stepped in. Calm yourself, Dante. It's not right to ask a toddler to run when it has yet to take its first steps. You'll need every opportunity to try and walk before you're made to run. Furthermore, Dante, as the manager, it's your job to manage your staff. And I am the guide. I decide where we go and how we arrive there. Do you get it? Don't argue with me. How am I supposed to not question a stranger who can't even hear me? I heard ticking, so what did they say, Miss Faust? Nothing much. Some verbose agreement, that was. A nod should be enough to let me know that you approve, Dante. Now, Mephi, off we go! Woohoo! How are you feeling, Sharon? Extreme excitement. About to walk on air, reports Sharon. Good. So are we going? Or so where are we going? Virgilius, they'd like to know the destination. I believe I told you that already, Dante. But just where are we going? With this sigh, the bus shuddered and started to rumble forward.
출발할게. 부릉부릉.
지역으로 출발하지.
Ooh. This is like an intro cutscene, I guess. Ooh, it looks like a train. That's cool. That's so cool. Interesting. Very bleak and desolate looking surroundings. Okay. I dig the music. Okay. The art style is very interesting. I like it. Okay. Who are they? Okay. There's a lot going on. A lot going on and a lot that I'm gonna have to learn here. Oh, I hear screaming in the background. I was gonna say, that better not be in the real world. That better just be in here. June 985. June. Well. Face the sin, save the ego. Cool. Okay. So what now? Second anniversary. Oh, okay. Rewards acquired. 3-star guaranteed Deca extraction ticket. Can be used to perform 10 extractions where 1 3-star identity is guaranteed to appear. Okay. The battle pass is unlocked. What is this? Second anniversary banner. Nominable S1 identity ticket. Use this item to select a season 1 identity, including event identities to obtain. Okay. Second anniversary. Extraction ticket, extraction ticket. Takeoff module, ID uptie, raises an identity's uptie tier up to tier 4. More tickets. What is this? Oh, that's that thing. Nominable S2 identity ticket to select a season 2 identity, including event identities. Extraction tickets, takeoff module, ego spinning. Wow. Okay. More extraction tickets, and then Virgilius Announcer and Limbus Company second anniversary special banner and second anniversary special. If you've already acquired the Announcer, you will receive 50 thread crates instead. Okay. Hello, new manager. Can be used to perform 1 extraction. Okay. For new accounts created after 9/26. Okay. So, target extraction, Faust. Okay. Everlasting Faust, Thoracalgia Faust, Telepole Faust, Hexnail Faust. Okay, new target extraction, Fire Fist Officer Survivor, Gregor. In Sync East Section 3, Don Quixote. Okay. Season 5, Oblivion. Season 5, Oblivion. Okay. All right, so this is an interesting layout. Wait, what's this? Free claim all. Banner acquired. Oh, okay, so a celebratory banner. Oh, wait, what did that say? Past missions? Clear any stages 2 times. Okay. Immediately gain... Okay, so that's a pay thing. All right. What else do we got going on here? System notifications. I'll have to read some of this stuff. Official Twitter and YouTube accounts. I'll have to follow those. How to submit inquiries. March 6th, scheduled update notice. Okay. So that updated this morning. Interesting. All right. Regular maintenance compensation. Claim all. Confirm. Okay, so what do I do? Do I do one of these? All right, so I use 1300 to do a 10 extraction. Which one do I want to go for? Oh, this is the one that for that ticket. Okay, welcome extraction. Extractions remaining 20 times for the new manager. Okay. Why don't we do this one here, since this is a 10. For this coupon, let's use it. Spend 3-star guaranteed Deca extraction ticket to proceed with a short extraction 3-star identity. All right, let's do it. Let's see. Okay. We're gonna take this. I'm gonna screenshot as I can. Okay, so there's a Don Quixote. I don't remember all their names yet. I guess we'll figure it out. Oh, this is kind of cool. Okay. Another one of them. Go away, don't bother poking at me. Ooh, okay. Don't bother poking at me. Okay. Season 2, Lobotomy Ego Sun Shower. Heathcliff. Okay. Interesting. All right. Trying to take some screenshots here so I have this stuff. And let's return. Okay. So we did that. Let's do this welcome extraction. Okay. Free Unicy is used first. Okay. Ooh, there's 3 red ones. I wonder what that means. Okay, another Heathcliff. All evidence points to the conclusion that this case was... Ah, bloody hell, I almost had it. Wait a moment. Okay. Okay, Ryoshu, that was... Okay. Season 3. Okay. And a Yi Sang. You need not hide any secrets from me. Okay. Whoops. I keep accidentally extra hitting the thing. And then we'll do another one here. Extract again. We'll do it again because it gives me 10 more. All right. Ooh, okay, okay, okay. All right, let's just do this. Okay, did you wish to witness the art performed in the training room? Another Ryoshu. Okay. Huh, let's skip the formalities. Ooh. Ooh. Corp 4th Pack Reindeer Ishmael. Okay. Okay, interesting. All right, so we did that. Now we have enough to do another 10. So do we go with... What is this? Expiry is 320. This one's also 320. Ooh, that's neat looking. Versus this one. Seasonal identity can be dispensed from the dispenser starting 313. Let's, I'm gonna go with... Oh, I have those those tickets. What's this say? Okay. Permission to vroom vroom. What the heck? Rumble tumble clock face. Bug guy. Okay. Hong Kong. Permission to Hong Kong. I like that. Okay. Okay. I'll have to read all these and take some time. I Hong Kong for fun. I have no Hong Kong left now. Oh wait. I like that. I'll go with this one, since it's the newest one I just got. Word. What other words? Colleague or fire. Oh, we're gonna stay. I have no Hong Kong left now. Ooh. Okay. We'll just put these banners up, I guess. Okay. All right, back up. Now let's go back here. I think we're gonna do this one for Faust, and we'll use our remaining stuff here. I thought I clicked it. Ooh. Okay. Let's pull them all. Aha, so this explaineth the slight. Ooh. Oh, wait. Wasn't that the one in the other banner? Okay. So this explaineth the slight blandness of thy banquet to prepare such spicy condiments in the form of brawl. Forsooth, 'twas most unexpected. Okay. Ooh, okay. So there is W Corp L2 cleanup agent. Your problems will be dealt with post haste. Okay. Interesting. A whole bunch of Faust, though. Return. All right. So that's what we ended up with our first little group of pools there. All right. So that's where we ended up with our first bit of gameplay. So we've got our 4 tutorial stages that we went through, and we got to explore the menu, like the main intro menu, and we did our first extractions, which we had the Deca extraction ticket that we used for the 3-star identity assured extraction banner there. We got that, we used that, that's done. And we did the 20 welcome extractions and then finished off with the 10 extraction for the targeted extraction Faust. So I don't know if I got anybody good or not. That's something that we'll have to look into and do a little bit of reading and figuring that whole thing out. It seems like a very, very intriguing system. Now, admittedly, I am a bit confused by the combat system, so I want to learn more. And originally I was intending to continue from where I left off there with the video, but I just didn't have time, so I'm going to put this first part out first, and this is just the beginning. But I definitely want to go back to this game. I actually really like it. I like what's going on with the system, even though it does seem kind of confusing. I was sent some tutorials and stuff to look into and to try. So ultimately, I'm going to watch those and just kind of get some more information and do a little bit of studying. And for those of you who, for those of you who may be watching this but have not watched any of my Arknights gameplay and stuff, I will take notes to try and figure this out. I'm probably going to use OneNote instead of a notepad, but this is my old Arknights notepad, which has literal notes on how to play that I use to learn and teach myself how to play the game. So I'm not afraid of looking at these tutorials and learning things to make myself more aware and understanding of systems and so on and so forth. But I've got a whole bunch of notes here, and that's how I learned a lot of the more complex things with Arknights too. And there's still some things that I don't know and still some things that I'm trying to learn with that game. So I'll definitely learn more about Limbus Company, and we'll come back and we'll see A, if my knowledge has improved, and B, we're going to continue the story because I'm anxious to find out more. I like the dark thematics and stuff of the game and the obvious, like, Dante's Inferno connection or pun that's going on with that, with the character Dante, and everything that's going on seems to kind of have like a little nod to that at least. So I like that. I like that concept. But I'm curious to learn more about these characters and to learn more about the game overall and the story and what's going on. It seems story heavy, which is cool, and I like that kind of thing. Probably not going to narrate this the same way that I do Arknights. So, if that's something you guys want, let me know, because I could try to do character voices and stuff for it, but at least for this video, we just narrated things straight, plain as it was. And I'll do that until I hear otherwise from you guys. So if you want to see me do the same style of narration with this that I do with Arknights, I'll give that a shot. No problem. But I'm excited. I'm very excited to continue this, and I like it. I like it. And of course, we are going to be trying some other gacha games and things on the channel as we continue, so keep an eye out for those as well. And again, if you haven't seen my Arknights series, there's a lot of content out there for that now, so make sure to go check it out. We've got other stuff coming down the pipeline, but Limbus Company Part 2 will be coming soon. With that, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time out of your day to hang out here on the channel and to watch my videos and to see this. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. It's going to help me grow and to continue to bring more cool content like this to you guys. With that being said, that's it for this one, and I will see you next time.